Brian. Okay, our final two presenters are going to show some great advertiser work. They have the coolest names, and I will mangle them, and I want to hear them properly. So if you could just share your names, it would be awesome. Just shout them out.
Way to go. So mine is actually pronounced Katrin Ribant in French, but generally, when it's an English speaker, it's more like Katrin Ribant.
For me, French, I know it's Guibert Tchinde.
Right. So Katrin is the co-founder of Datorama, and she's a street art enthusiast and a data enthusiast, and has been at the forefront of data and analytics for the last 15 years. And
Guibert.
Guibert leads the marketing effectiveness for Pernod Ricard, and has worked for multiple companies and is passionate about the power of big data. So please take it away.
Thanks, Andy. So I'm Katrin Ribant, English accent, and Datorama is a marketing intelligence platform that helps marketers like Pernod Ricard gain control and transparency over their marketing performance. So with me, Guibert is going to walk us through the journey that Pernod Ricard has gone through to understand what parts of their marketing programs impacted customer journey at what point consistently, with a definition that worked across a very scaled kind of vision of this across markets. And what I really like in the way Guibert has taken Pernod Ricard through this journey is the structured and disciplined process that has been taken to understand what was to be achieved, what was the goal, to gain buy-in internally, to make sure that the solution was going to be used on a day-to-day basis, and was actually going to help marketing departments across different markets make better decisions for their optimization. So with that, I'll turn it over to Guibert.
Thank you, Katrin. So, Pernod Ricard is a very big company, decentralized organization, and as we hear this morning, I think it's the same for a lot of large organizations trying to understand the consumer. I'm not going to walk you through how we did our consumer journey. I'm just going to walk you through all the difficulties we can have to try to build the consumer journey. And this is exactly where the support of a company like Datorama is very powerful. Let me start with the beginning and give you like a small context. Big organization, very autonomous market, so what we're trying to achieve is to have a consistent view across all the markets. Because before going into the conversation, like you mentioned, and Kanta, to understand which advertising is working better, so which kind of group we can target, etc. We need to be aligned in a common view. We need to align on how we measure the effectiveness of what we are doing. Okay? So this is the first step of the conversation. The first step of the conversation is to try to have the common language before having the common currency across the touch point. Because if I am Absolut, I'm operating in US, Absolut operating in the UK, for example, how can we share the best practices if we don't have the same language? What's important for us, it's not just to have the key KPI we used to have coming from our major agency partner. It's to make sure that when we want to share best practices, we are sharing the same language. Instead of going to the consumer journey, we want to understand the key moment that matters, because from here, we can decide how to activate the consumer on those touch points. So the key interest for us is not understanding at the detail level, because for that, we have a lot of research coming from those guys, coming from Kantar, coming from TNS, coming from a lot of market research agencies. But what is important internally is to drive the change with a lot of different people, with a lot of different backgrounds. As we can see in the slide behind me, we have the CMO, which what's important for him is to have just the numbers to help to drive growth. And the key question is this campaign impact the top line? Yes and no. We have the digital guys who know exactly how to place the advertising, which touch point works better, etc. And we can have debates along the discussion with the consumer insight, because what they want from the consumer insight point of view is to understand what works to be able to replicate it. This is how it works. So different stakeholders, and the main thing, and the first thing that we did is to decide to go for a single source of truth. And to build this single source of truth, which is very important, we have two possible ways. We can build and consolidate all the data coming from different channels, or we can decide how to read the data coming from different channels. And the key question from us was, what could be the layer on top of every different single platform that can help us to understand what works and what doesn't? That is how we go to Datorama, because Datorama provides us the single layer, taking back all the different channels from all the different markets with the common framework that we all agree in the company. And this is a long journey to go, driving this change management process with a lot of people, a lot of different stakeholders, with different point of view, working in this business for different years, so many, many years. We try just to have this simple common language and decide which KPI are the most relevant for the company, from the digital manager until the top management, and we get there. After we decide what is the common framework of the performance measurement, we move, and the discussion was, now we have this common framework, we need to find a way to see it at the global level, at the local level, at the regional level, and for each entities. And what has been done is we try to find the right platform that helps us to work through. Datorama was chosen because of, I think, two main things. The first thing is it's a plug-and-play platform, and that was because we're a marketing company, we don't have very, very technical skills, to be honest. And we find a software which can be plug-and-play. Defining the common language with the platform, defining the taxonomy, you know this better than me, and now being just able to share URL, and each single people in the organization can have access on what is happening. This is, for example, a screenshot of some campaign moving forward just now. If you didn't see it, I strongly encourage you to see the Nothing to Hide campaign. It's very funny. It's from Absolute. And this, what you can see here, is the framework we're used to work with. You can see in the first screen and the second screen is exactly the same framework we are using. We can display it in different manners, but all the people, when we are talking about awareness, each single person in the organization know the definition of the awareness and know exactly that if I see this number, I know what is it about. That means we can share across the organization exactly the same reporting, the same kind of reporting, and it facilitates the conversation. And how this facilitates the conversation, I think it's very simple, it's very straightforward. I think the first thing is we used to discuss with the major agencies or with the marketing agency, let's say, if we provide to this marketing agency our framework of performance measurement, I think it's easier for everyone to be focused more on the creativity, more on the campaign objective, rather than discussing the increase or the decrease of the CPA, which sometimes take a lot of time when we discuss with the agencies. And we can now fix the right objective with our agency partner or trade internally. This is exactly the big shift we're trying to have now. Thanks to this platform, because everything is connected with different digital platforms, we can have in one place our sales, our campaign. Even if we are not able to cross everything and to see the impact of the campaign to the bottom line or to the sale or to the equity, we have all the numbers in the right place. We created these single sources of truth, and this is the most powerful thing we can do. Now, the question from the organization will be, we have everything in place, what is the impact of what we're investing in the top line, in the sales? And this will be for the next chapter. Two key things that I want you to keep in mind moving forward. First of all, it's about defining the common framework of measurement. without talking about the consumer journey, without talking about the key point to influence. It's about defining the key point to influence and the common framework of measurement. The second thing is we cannot standardize all the platform across the world because we're a global company. The second thing, which is the most important thing, is to have the layer which help us to have the decent conversation with all the different stakeholders. I know that this is time for lunch, so I'm going to close now. Thank you.
Thank you, very appreciated.